I'm flipping the bird is a word. I'm flipping the bird is a word. I'm flipping that bird, that police and nerds. Nothing else I had to back.
All right. Got to start off with an injury report. Cedric Mullins left today's game. Hamstring. Those damn hamstrings and Cedric Mullins.
Oh, no, Seti. No. Now
Brandon,
Cole has to make the team.
yeah, I said, God damn it. God damn. Brandon High said it was precautionary. No MRI was taken. But, I mean, with Cedric's history and hamstrings, that could just be coach speed. You don't play with that.
And I'm glad to hear that it was precautionary too.
But that was the first thing I thought about, Nick. Damn. Such a shame that Colton has to make this roster now. Fuck. Ooh, still raking. Man. Still raking. It's locked in.
We got so many options in the outfield, which helps, even if Teddy was injured and it was serious, it helps when you know that, okay, he's down, but we have so many other options that can come in. Even somebody like a Mateo, right? Defensively speaking, you could have him play center field, and it's not a huge drop off. He's played center field before, and that speed plays any position sometimes. And then you talk about hitting. You have Kowser that can play center. He can play corners. He can also hit the skin off the baseball. And you have so many other options as well. You don't really miss Cedric as much as years past. Should he, have to sit down for a little bit, and that's a testament just to our organizational depth.
You talk about Kowser. I mean, he had his third home run in the spring Sunday, 9-16 in spring training. 2 of those 3 home runs against lefties. So you talk about that lefty on lefty matchup. So it's not a bad problem to have. I mean, granted, you don't want anybody out by injury, but it's not a bad problem to have when you got a backup like Kowser behind him.
Yeah, and him and Kyle Stowers actually lead the Orioles in OPS so far. They've been raking lefties, hitting for power, hitting for average, showing the glove as well.
All 3 of Stowers home runs against lefties in spring training.
So I mean, so there's really no excuse for them not to make it, right? So in the past, Brandon has talked about lefty on lefty. He's talked about matchups. He's talked about youth and inexperience. At this point, it's really no way to keep them off with those excuses. You're gonna have to come up with something else, and it might be above high. Who knows? But at this point, I think they've shown that they're ready, and they have let their play do the talking, and that's the most exciting thing because you've seen the growth from last year to this year. You've seen the growth in the plate approach. Colton Sko mentioned it a few shows ago, but Colton also talked about what he's done differently, what he's worked on, keeping his hands in a little bit more, being more relaxed at the plate, changing the stance just a tad. And all those things are just changes to the mechanics, just like a quarterback would, just like a hitter would in baseball, just like a shooter changes his mechanics, you know what I mean, when the 3-point ball is a little off. Just small little tweaks, from film study, working with skills trainers, just small little tweaks to get you back to who you are. And not build bad habits at the same time. And I think Colton got back to some of the habits he's used to, adjusted to kind of how they're throwing him in major league competition, and just being ready for just elevated competition and better pitching and better, more talented pitchers. So he's made those adjustments, and you've seen it paid off. Same with Kyle and shit, man. Like, it's really scary to see just how this offense could come around. We haven't mentioned a few different people, but this offense is scary, bro. Even the punt lineups don't look like punt lineups anymore. Everybody in the lineup, whether it's a starter or a bench player, they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Yeah. Speaking of Kyle, he was asked if he did anything different as far as approach, batting stance, this, that, and the third. And his basic thing was, nah, I kept it the same. It's just focus, which I don't want to go projecting for him, but it leads me to believe that he just got more confidence this year, and it was do or die for him. Like it was do or die for him. So even if he doesn't make it for some crazy reason, what he's done for us as far as trade value, I like it either way. I like it either way. But it's getting to the point. If he doesn't make it, he deserves to be somebody's starter somewhere. He's done that much. So if we're not gonna have him on the opening
Swagger
day,
man.
yeah, yeah. He said he was hurt last year. He dealt with a couple injuries. So if he's in the best shape of his life, as they always say, it looks like it. I can't say I can't say that he's wrong. He definitely looks more focused. So salute to that. Gunner saw his first action today. It's always good to see our guy got a single in the second at bat, and he spoke about all the work that he did in the winter. That he shouldn't need too much work to be ready for the season. That lets me know that he's locked in. That's always a plus.
And they also he also talked about how he has a hunger for more.
Yeah,
Talked about how last year was a great season, but he felt like it wasn't that great. He felt like he has more levels to hit. He felt that and expressed that he's excited to have the opportunity to go out there and show how much better he's gotten, and show that he still has more to achieve. And that's, again, when you hear things like that, it's like, dang, like last year you had an amazing rookie season.
yeah,
And there's so much to build on that. But to hear him say, I could have done way better. There, I had a good season, but I made so many mistakes. Now I'm here to just be a better version of me. That's scary. I want to see the better version of Gunner, because the version I saw last season was great.
yeah.
A better version is MVP.
Yeah, yeah. It is. Another young stud. I hope he's a stud. Great Grayson Rodriguez was on the bump. Struggled. He threw a lot of pitches, but I'm gonna take him for his word. I'm taking him for his word. So the first inning, he got hit around a little bit. Second came back and he went to his ace stuff, and he said he was trying to work on some different things. So I'm gonna take him for his word. I'm gonna take him for his word. He tried some different things with I think he was trying some sinkers, trying to throw in some new pitches. But second, he went back
He
to
said
that
he was working
changeup.
on his. It was more about his mechanics
Yeah,
yesterday.
mechanics,
So I
how
mean,
he's
even
going
as
to the
far as
plate.
fastball, kind of
Yeah,
dimmed down a little bit than what it normally is. He's been hitting triple digits, but he was around 94 to 96 yesterday. But they say it's by design.
yeah, I'm gonna take him for his word.
I am not. I
I'm
am not.
not
I'm
mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
I'm not pounding the bells or the alarms of panic at all. It's just the trends that I'm seeing from Grayson. The elevated pitch counts in early innings. That's not exclusive to spring training. That was
No.
all last season in the
Yeah,
major leagues.
yeah,
Command issues early on in games. That was all last season. I was thinking one of the things that I wanted to see was Grayson was easy innings in the beginning of the games, 1, 2, 3 innings, not having a whole bunch, not having an elevated pitch count. 40 pitches, 40 plus
yeah,
pitches in 2 innings. That's something that I saw a little bit too much last season, and to see it in spring training, whether you're working on something or not, it's a little disheartening, especially now with Bradish out, and like you kind of have to depend on Grayson to step his game up. It's a little different in the third, as a third pitcher versus being the guy right after Burns. It's a little bit more cushion for you to go through your young player mistakes. Now I'm looking at you like, yo, you're our co-ace, right?
mhm,
You're one of those guys that, at the top of the rotation, we're looking to stop bleeding, or we're looking to continue a win streak. We're looking to be dominant up there. And, I think he has all the tools. It's just Grayson has to be the best Grayson. Once he figures out the right mix and the right cadence, everything don't gotta be a strikeout. Let's learn how to get some ground balls, some easy outs. Um, and you can't beat yourself by not throwing the ball over the plate either.
yeah,
So
yeah. I'm a little confused on that method of work as far as toning it down. I don't really get that, because in when the regular season starts, I want you hitting them triple digits. I really don't want you throwing 94, 95. So I want you coming out here working on, especially with you being the two, and that's how you win series. If you go out there, you put Corbin, Grayson, get those 2 wins, then the third one, you already got the series win. The third one, and that's what the position he was in last year, being that third starter. And okay, it really now you a guy. So I need you to be working on everything that you're gonna do in the 3 weeks? 28th ain't that far away. But the second inning, he did go to his changeup, which is one of his bread and butter pitches, and it was working. Yeah, I just was confused on that method of work they had him doing.
Still big on him though. I mean, you see the skill. You see the skill. You see the talent.
Last year I said it's between the ears with him. He just got to put it all together. But the physical tools are there. The physical tools are there. Just can't let it get so much where he's like Daniel Cabrera or some shit. You just got to stop that. Don't let it get that far. Because we've had a lot of people with a lot of skill that just couldn't put it together. But I'm not worried about him that much. But yeah. Let's be different. Let's dare to be different. I tell you one person who I said was ass when we got him, and he's continuing to be ass, and I don't want him to be ass. Mr. Kimball. Family.
Boy. Where's Felix?
Mr. This. Stop this. I hate this. I don't want to get to the point where I hate that. Stop that. 2 innings of work and your ERA is 22 point something. Family.
I thought we got rid of Fuji.
He's in whiteface apparently, because Jesus Christ, he's still here. Leave us alone, Fuji. Go away. Yo, dog, that's unacceptable. Especially why we signed you to be the closer. Said a couple weeks ago.
It's looking like Cano might have to get some work.
I told y'all last week. I said, hey, we might need a new setup guy, because it's looking like Cano gonna have to be that guy. Now we're gonna try him out there. He's gonna get his chances, but you better have a short leash for this guy.
Yeah. So we make a big deal about which hitters and which fielders are going to make the opening day roster. We really need to start having some serious questions about this bullpen, because it's like, yo, with Felix and Cano, you kind of know who slots in where. You saw also with Cano last year how as the season progressed, he got less effective. So you worry about wear and tear. You worry about the pressure being put on his arm. So you might want to conserve him as much as possible. You might be more cognizant of it this season. So, okay, he's less in the fold this season. Who besides Cano is going to step up in those last 6 to 9 innings? I mean, not innings, but 6 to 9 innings, so to speak. So if you can't be as reliant on Cano, and if Kimbrel, hopefully he improves. But again, we have to talk about this guy not at his peak, but where he is now. Where he is now is a veteran that got removed from a playoff roster due to ineffectiveness. A veteran taken off a playoff roster. Yeah. Where they do that at?
Atlanta was a long time ago. It's a long time ago. So
we're gonna have to make some moves.
I'm telling you,
we need some insurance back there.
If Kyle does not make this roster, he needs to be traded for a bullpen arm, a viable bullpen arm. No exceptions. You can't go into this season and go into the summer, the dog days of summer, with Craig as your answer to close these games. I'm telling you, he's gonna fuck you. He's gonna fuck you over. I'm telling you, he's gonna fuck you over, and he's gonna lose a lot of games. And people gonna be, dog.
If you talk to a Phillies fan, they'll say the same thing, the exact same thing. They don't play. They can't stand them.
Nah.
And the funny thing that you mentioned, Kyle. I mean, it's looking like Kyle make the team. So on the flip side, and now I wonder, does Heston start in Norfolk, being that
I think so.
The two left-handed bats, they both are probably going to play right field. Kyle has shown that he can play against left-handed pitchers, but at the same time, you know how high it is. So they'll probably be playing against righties more so than anything. Excuse me. So in that sense, and then it also doesn't make sense for Kyle and Heston to be on the roster at the same time if they're both not going to be used in the lineup. It makes sense. One of them get some work in Norfolk. Yeah. One of you be on the big league squad. Now, me personally, I'm a Heston fan, but the way Kyle has played,
undeniable.
It's undeniable as to who deserves to to get the first crack at it. And then I'm sure by May, June, we'll figure out a way to have both on the roster. But, as far as tradable pieces, we still got to stock farm. We still got to stock farm. I mean, we could find some outfielders, some infielders, some pitchers, whoever you want, double A, single A, one of these A's. We can find some bullpen help somehow, some way. We don't even talk about people like Connor Norby. Not that I would want to trade him or anything, but we don't even talk about how
I was
he's
about
a
to
top
bring
10.
him up, Nick.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say he had his debut. Opened up with a double, his first at bat, drew a walk in the ninth. So I mean, he had essentially said he'd been seeing everybody else eat. He wanted to eat. So that's I just love. We talked about it yesterday. It seems to be like a healthy competition, and that's really what you want. Just people, each person's game helping the next person's game elevate. And so, I mean, to see that from your number 6 prospect in your system, and Connor Norby, that's encouraging.
Yeah, man, that's for sure. That's for sure. And it's like Kobe Mayos. I mean, there's so many people we could peddle, even though I wouldn't want to peddle because I believe in these guys' talents. Somebody like Kobe Mayo, Elias said, his swing is undeniable. Like,
yeah,
and he didn't say that about Gunnar. He didn't say that about Jackson. He said, that guy's swing is different. You know what I mean? And that's somebody who's forgotten about. So, but again, we got such a glutton of talent. It's going to take, you got to give something to get something. So it might get to that point, Sco, where
It's gonna have to
we got to find a guy.
But that's why, like for Heston, that's why last year I was talking about, put him at first. It's a log jam out there in the outfield, and his bat needs to be in a lineup where him and Mountcastle rotate first and DH responsibilities.
Who bat you talking about?
Heston.
Oh, Heston. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't get any work at first, but I would have put him at first. He profiled. He got the size of a first baseman. He played it enough in the minors to work him out there in the spring. But as far as him making it over Kyle, I can't see how you justify that right now.
And so I mean, somebody like Basillo, I don't know what his long-term fit with the Orioles is, but you're talking about a left-hand hitter with power that you typically don't see that as a catcher. If he can stick on as a catcher, positionally wise, I don't want to say he's a unicorn, but positionally wise, I mean, you ain't finding too many left-handed power hitting catchers.
Also, where's Adley going? So it's great to draft the second best catcher in the pipeline, but we got the best catcher in the league right now.
Yeah.
So he might be somebody that because he just started live at bats today. Once he gets healthy, bye. I mean, unless you want to put him at another position, but what year is Adley going into? Like, Adley's not a 15-year vet. Adley's still young.
And like we talked about Connor, but he's an infielder, second baseman. Kobe, third base. We got
third. Yeah.
We got so many. We got such a long jam, and something that was interesting about Gunnar. I was reading something and listening to something last night, and they said out of all the guys, Gunnar is a shortstop, and they said it's a healthy competition, but they said good luck trying to pull Gunnar from shortstop, trying to stop him from being a shortstop. Like, number one, he's competitive. Number two, he wants to play shortstop. And they said, out of all the fielders we have, he has the best tools, strongest arm, most range. You've seen him do it already.
Showed it last year. So that's why when they was moving him last year, it's like, if you know he's going to be your shortstop,
can you stop?
Which you didn't, then stop putting him at third. Stop it. Just put him, because we lost one person doing that for fucking JJ Hardy. Respect to JJ Hardy. Salute. But we lost one person doing that. And he's a great third baseman.
I'll never forget that shit.
He's a great
not for JJ. Not for JJ.
He's one of the best third basemen that I've ever seen. Which is crazy because it's not his natural position.
Yeah.
But to say, you can't play short because of JJ. You can't play short because there's 19-year-old behind you. I'm sure if it's gonna excuse me, which is why that 19-year-old is now learning how to play second. I think he'll be a great second baseman.
And he looks great at it.
He looks great
at it.
He looks great. And I think Jackson just wants to play and hit the ball.
I don't I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care where I feel.
I just want my at bats. I don't care where I feel because I'll be great at it. And then third is open where if you want to, you got your Kobe's. If you value Kobe, if that swing is what you think it is, and then hey, Westberg can take McKinnon's spot and he can be our utility. And I would much rather have Jordan as utility than Ryan McKinnon.
Yo, we got so many people we got to find our best for, Scott. Like Jordan is the main one I want in the lineup.
Yeah, Jordan deserves at bats, but it's a good problem. It's a good problem to have, but
just give me a bullpen and I'm with the shits all season. I'm with the shits anyway, but you know what I mean.
Give me a closer until Big Mountain come back. Because Mr. Kimbrel, he ain't going to do it.
I got my fingers crossed for Kimbrel, bro. The warning signs were there before we signed him.
Yeah, we talked about him when we signed him.
He's cooked.
There. We started talking about the Orioles. I was like, hey, y'all, we need a closer. Hey, we got Kimbrel. Y'all, we need a closer.
Yeah.
We need a damn closer.
Oh, man.
He ain't a finisher.
I'm holding out hope. Be optimistic. I'm gonna be on the Craig Kimbrel train this year.
Y'all can don't be. Hey, nah. Don't y'all let that be your Kenny. Hell no. Hell no.
I'm rolling with Kimbrel this year.
Not
the
Kenny,
negativity towards Craig right now.
Salute to the O's. Before we get up